look forward to the challenge of playing Detroit. We know they're a good football team. I mean, they're undefeated right now and doing a heck of a job. My hat goes out to Matt Patricia. He's really changed that place around and their personnel department. They've got good players. They've got good coaches. They're playing hard, aggressive football. So our guys are starting today, getting back in and making sure we study them and go through different phases we need to go through before we play with that time period.
Coach, you had mentioned on Monday that the Lions were playing good football. What about what they're doing these last 2 weeks has really impressed you the most?
They play hard. They've got a good scheme, and then they play hard. And they tackle well. They've made a living off of turnovers on defense. And then offensively, they're scoring some points. So you got to make sure that you stay on top of that. They've got a quarterback that has been around a while and knows the game, and they've got some skilled guys that can also play right there. And the special teams is doing a good job too.
Turnovers are turnovers, I guess, and they don't count. But there's maybe a little difference between them going and getting it and then someone making a mistake. Are they making a living by actually taking it away and things they're doing, forcing them?
Yeah, well, they tackle the ball, and the ball, a few of these, the ball comes out, and so, yeah, fumbles have been one thing. We've had a couple interceptions in there, so that's also part of it.
Coach, you mentioned Matt Patricia. He obviously came from Coach Belichick, who you talked a lot about. Coach Holmgren was a big, that's your guy. How long does it take before you kind of find who you are? I mean, you're always going to be influenced by the people you came up with, but when do you feel like you were Andy Reid and not, maybe the influence was less?
That's a good question. I mean, I have a smart aleck answer I can give you, but I mean, so yeah, I mean, you develop your own thing. You put your own name on it, and you do it as a player, you do it as a coach, probably any profession we're in. So it normally starts right away. You can't help but carry some things over, but if you're copying somebody, then the players read through that. In particular, when a player comes that was with you somewhere else, then you got a problem. So you've got to be yourself. But he's done that. I mean, he's done a nice job. He had a big responsibility with New England, being a coordinator for the number of years that he was. So, so I think he's kind of put his own mark on it.
Andy, what have you noticed through 3 weeks between Steve Spagnuolo and Brendan Daly sort of rotating upwards of 8 guys in these first 3 games? Just how do you feel like the ideal rotation is going on the defensive line?
You try to keep guys fresh and throw fastballs in there. I think it's been good. It's good to get some of these young guys some experience in there too. And that pays off for you down the road. But I think they're playing fast and aggressive. They seem to have a good grasp of the concepts and scheme that we're trying to do. So,
when LeSean became available, you noted that he still showed burst on tape. Now that you've had him for a few weeks, what's different now than the last time you got him?
Yeah, he's got a couple of gray hairs, but he still has the vision and the shiftiness. He was never the fastest guy in the world. He's fast enough, but that's not his game. His game is the great vision and ability with a quick feet to move. And he still has that. He's got a burst, can catch. I mean, we're not asking him to go every down. We probably did that more in Philadelphia than what we're doing now. So I can't answer that part because he's in a rotation. So, but the vision and the feet are about the same. Yeah.
The only other rookie receiver you've had with more yards through 3 games than McCoy Hardman was LeSean Jackson. Is there anything that you see makeup-wise, whether it's physical or mental, that's kind of comparable between those 2 guys?
The one thing is they're all legs. They have a little short torso, long legs, which is interesting, but unique. And they don't, they don't weigh a ton. You put them on a scale, they're going to be like one of our legs. So it's, but they can run and run fast, and so, and they both have a good feel for the game. Both of them are smart guys. Deshaun's a real smart kid. Innately smart kid. So.
And can you speak to
McCoy.
Just Darrel Williams taking advantage of his opportunity?
Yeah. So he played for us last year, kind of the same type of role, and he's just kind of Mr. Consistent and tough. Again, he's a smart kid, so he knows everything protection-wise that's going on. Patient runner, but when he goes, he's gonna hit you. He's bringing a lot of weight behind him, so he can put his shoulder down and get you a couple extra yards there.
Andy, you seemed to be pretty impressed the other day with LeSean McCoy's ability to get himself ready to play last week. Did he do anything above and beyond? Was there something about the way he prepared himself last week to get him ready?
I think it's just a willingness to spend time here. He just stayed and worked it. It's one of those injuries where the more you work it, the better you're going to get, but it takes a lot of time and effort. And you got to kind of push through some things there and he did. I mean, he worked it, and as a result, he was able to play. But I think it's a good example to guys. There are certain injuries you can't do that with. This is one that you can, and you're not going to hurt your career or your future to be able to walk or anything.
He's a guy that has not missed, as you know, a lot of time over the years. Is he just one of those guys that maybe can push through some stuff?
Yeah, I think that's a tough position to play. So you're going to take a few hits now. He's quick enough, and that vision comes in handy. So he knows when to get down and then when to drop his shoulder and try to get extra yards. But he's been pretty good with that, from even when he was young. So it limits some of the unnecessary hits that you have to take.
Maybe on defense, some of your stats are already better than they were last year. But from a coach's view, I know you said the other day you think the turnovers will come, but from a coach's view, what do you see that tells you that this thing can get better?
We're so close. I mean, you see it. Or we're right there. We're getting our hands on the ball, or we're hesitant in some areas to go get the ball, and just, I mean, they're small things. And so I look at that and I go, man, you give that a little time, you trust it. Those things change. And some of the guys been in the league, and I've seen it before, so that's going to come, right? You just know it's but that's remember, things are like warp speed out there. So, and it's happening right now in real time, and so it's one of those things where you have to do it. You got to keep doing it, and then it just becomes kind of second nature.
So the improvement that you expect to see is mostly going to be from turnovers, or are there other things that you see as well?
No, but that was the one you asked me. So yeah, you asked me about turnovers, so I'm saying that turnovers, you'll see improvement in that area if we still have opportunities like the ones we've had, or have created opportunities like the ones we have. So by putting yourself in the right position, and but I think overall you're gonna, the more they play in it, the better you get at it.
Coach, you mentioned Matt Patricia making a mark in Detroit now, coming from his coordinator days with the Patriots. What are some of the challenges for you as a play caller and also as a game planner, knowing that you are going against a guy who does like to scheme?
Yeah, well, he's very good at it. And so you can say, well, they played man coverage here, but they might come out and play cover 2 the next game. So you don't know. And so you make sure that you cover all the bases with your guys. And he's got, like I said, the scheme that they've got is, their base scheme is tremendous. So, and then they can go different directions with it. And I can tell by how disciplined his guys are, and I know that defense well enough, what they're asking them to do, and they're doing those things. It's sound. Looks like the players trust it and believe in it. So.
Couple more guys.
Coach, from a confidence standpoint, how big was it for Frank to get that first sack out of the way?
Yeah, I mean, it was good. That was a good sack. I mean, as much as he's doubled and keeps fighting through it, I think that's where I look at it. I mean, I'm not into all the stat stuff, but I mean how many sacks he gets, but being around the quarterback and then having finally an opportunity to tackle him, that's a good thing. Yeah.
You guys have faced a couple good running backs. Defensively, this is another workload back, heavy workload. Just how critical is it to set that tone early, lowering the yards per carry?
Yeah, well, I mean, that's what you do. I mean, the players want to do it that way, and the coaches want to do it that way, and so you work on it. I just, I always give credit also to the other team for a reason, because if they're good, then I'm gonna tell you they're good. They're the number 1 offense and the number 2 defense. So I mean, It's not like, and they're going to win a lot of games. And so it was a good football team.
So Rich, Patrick, he was emotional at times, kind of fired up different times, maybe even, chatting with you and chatting with some of his teammates. Is that a good thing, or is it something that he needs to, is that a sign he's getting more and more confident, that he's maybe a little bit more animated out there?
No, he's been that way. I mean, he's competitive, and he's the leader of that bunch, and he's the one that's on the field, and so he wants certain things out of a play. Then, as a player, you got to get those things done, and that's where my trust in him and the other coaches' trust in him comes in. That he's. You want to make sure you're demanding the right things. Obviously, you're in the game, and he's very good with that. I mean, that's one of his real strengths. So, and he's got that natural leadership ability, and I think he does a good job with it. I think he weighs it well. If you do it every play, then people are just going to turn you off. But I think he's got a good feel for it.
Last question.
You've been throwing the ball a ton in the first half, and then in most of the second half, you've had the lead at halftime every game. You've been running the ball a little more balanced attack. Is there a philosophical thing going on there whenever you're playing with the lead? Is there a certain point you start trying to maybe get a little more conservative in the play calling, or is it all situational?
I'd probably tell you situational. I mean, every game's different, so I don't go in with that in mind. Just kind of go off the field there.